Hello everyone, welcome back to another vegan and gluten-free recipe episode on this channel. Today I was feeling like something that's kind of Mediterranean, savory, and packed with protein, and that led me straight to a recipe for this batch of baked falafel. There's a dozen lovely ingredients going into these baked falafel, so let's go through each of the ingredients one by one super quickly. First up, we have 1 cup of uncooked chickpeas. I soaked these overnight, drained them out, rinsed them off, and then patted them dry. There's also 1 cup of chopped fresh parsley, 1 cup of chopped fresh cilantro, 1/2 cup of chopped white onion, 4 cloves of chopped garlic, 1 teaspoon of lemon juice, 1 teaspoon of ground cumin, 1 teaspoon of ground coriander, 1 teaspoon of sea salt, 1/4 teaspoon of cayenne pepper, 1/4 teaspoon of baking powder, and finally 1 tablespoon of extra virgin olive oil plus a little more to drizzle the falafel. There's 5 easy steps to make these baked falafel. I've linked the recipe down below if you would like to follow along and make some of these falafel yourself. I've made a few tiny modifications based on my own taste preferences, but for the most part I'm sticking very closely to the recipe. For step number 1, I'll take every single one of these ingredients and I'll pulse them down in my food processor, which I have right over here. Truth be told, I think this food processor is a little bit too small to fit all 12 of the ingredients into it all at the same time. So what I'm planning to do is to pulse things down in little batches and then move them into a mixing bowl as I move along. For step number 2, once the falafel mixture is all pulsed down, I'll take 2 tablespoons per falafel ball and I'll roll them out and place them onto a lined baking sheet. For step number 3, I'll take the olive oil and I'll drizzle it onto the falafel on the baking sheet so that they become nice and crispy when they bake. For step number 4, I'll take the prepared baking sheet with the falafel and I'll put it in my oven for about 25 minutes at 450 degrees Fahrenheit. And I'll be sure to flip over the falafel about halfway through the baking time. And for step number 5, I'll dish up the falafel right here at my countertop with some additional fixings that I'll tell you about at the very end. That's everything for the recipe overview. Let's get started pulsing everything down in my food processor. Alright everyone, I have finished making the baked falafel. Don't worry, I'll give you a close-up momentarily. Just look at the color too. There's the brown on top, and then when you look closely there's green from the parsley and the cilantro. I also want to show you this handful of additional bonus like garnish items. I decided to prepare some plain brown rice. This is normally how I order my falafel at restaurants. I love to have a bed of rice and then the falafel sitting right on top of it, so you just have this nice carby and protein mixture going on the plate. I also love to eat falafel with some fresh veggies because the falafel are so dense and hot. Veggies like little grape tomatoes and cucumbers add this nice, well, I should say pop of color, but also nice like coolness and a difference in texture in contrast with the falafel. Next up we have tahini, and for those of you who don't know what this is, it's literally pureed sesame seeds. So think of this as peanut butter, but instead of peanuts, it's sesame seeds. And last but not least, I'll be just sprinkling on a tiny bit of this paprika for some color and a little kick of heat. Ooh, okay, let's go. I'm gonna start off with the brown rice to get my nice bed of delicious carby brown rice all ready to go. Just gonna get this nice and spread out. All right, the bed of rice is looking good. So let's just grab a few of these little guys. I think maybe like 5 or 4. Next come the little grape tomatoes. I think they're actually cherry tomatoes, sorry. And the slices of cucumber. Okay, now for the drizzle of tahini. So let's just take a nice dribbly spoonful and try not to make too much of a mess. And then just kind of artfully, hopefully artfully, drizzle this on. All that's left is the little sprinkle of paprika to, you know, just add another shade to this already gorgeous plate. So there you have it. Here is the lovely lush plate of falafel plus some fixings to go with them. Now it's time to dig in, especially while the falafel are still warm. I managed to get a little bit of everything on my fork, so I'm gonna hurry up and give this a taste. I love that. Before I forget, I'm gonna take a bite out of one of these falafel and show you what the inside looks like. So as you can see, the exterior is brown and crunchy, and then the inside is much softer and squishier. And I love the contrast of textures that you get with falafel, where it's crunchy to bite into, but then the inside is nice and soft and packed with flavor. And that, my lovelies, is the end of this recipe episode. Thank you so much for tuning in, and let me know what you think of this recipe if you decide to try it out. I love to hear from all of you, and please don't shy away. Leave any recipe suggestions that you have for me down in the comments section. If you liked this episode and are interested in some additional vegan and gluten-free protein-packed meals, then stick around to the very end of this video. I've linked a couple of recipe episodes for you. One is Kung Pao tofu and the other is tempeh tacos. I definitely think you'll enjoy both of those videos, and they do use a different source of protein than what you saw here. That's all for this episode, so take care everybody, eat well, and I will see you in the next episode on this channel. Bye!